All right, folks, strap in because today's story isn't just alarming. It's the kind of update that makes even the calmest scientists side-eye their thermometers like, this thing better be broken. The new Global Oceanic Report is out, and let me tell you, it's worse than anyone thought. And yes, I mean way worse. We're talking levels of heat hiding under those waves that make last year's record-breaking numbers look like a warm-up lap. Our oceans, the planet's giant natural cooler, have basically thrown in the towel. They are heating up faster, heavier, and longer than predicted. And trust me, nothing about this feels like a gentle summer swim. This isn't fear-mongering, it's fact-checking, it's truth-telling, and it's us, Global Pulse News, breaking down exactly what this new climate bombshell means for your future, my future, your kids' future, and the world we're leaving behind. So let's jump straight into the heat wave of reality, because the deeper we go, the more unbelievable and urgent this gets. Let's kick this off with the first icy punch. Well, not icy, because everything is heating up like a pan left on high with no food in it. The latest climate data sets reveal that over 96% of the world's oceans experienced extreme marine heat waves in 2023. And yes, you heard that right, 96%. Not a typo, not a rounding error, not some scientific estimate with wiggle room. No, this is the real deal. Think about that for a second. Imagine if 96% of your house caught fire. You wouldn't be asking, hey, do we have insurance? You'd be running out the front door barefoot with the dog under one arm and your childhood photo album under the other. That's basically what the planet is trying to do. But the fire is everywhere, and there's no exit door. Marine heat waves aren't your regular warm spells. These are prolonged, extreme, suffocating temperature spikes that literally cook marine ecosystems. Coral reefs don't just get stressed, they bleach and die. Fish don't just move, they disappear from entire coastlines. Storm patterns intensify, sea levels rise, and food chains collapse. Scientists already expected rising temperatures, but what shocked them was the scale. Planet-wide levels of heating. 96% coverage means the oceans didn't just warm up. They broke the thermometer, shattered expectations, and rewrote climate models. And the scariest part? This wasn't some freak one-time event. It's the new normal forming in front of us, and the planet is screaming at max volume. And trust me, if you think the size of the disaster is wild, wait until you hear how long these heat waves lasted. Now, here's where the jaw drops even further, because these marine heat waves weren't quick flash fry events. Oh no, some regions stayed locked in extreme heat for over 500 consecutive days. Yes, you heard that right, 500. That's more than a year and a half of nonstop ocean overheating. Let me put that in real-world American perspective. Imagine turning your oven to 450 degrees and just leaving it running for a year and a half straight. No breaks, no cool down, just constant blistering heat destroying everything inside. That's what parts of the Pacific experienced, a relentless furnace effect. How does this happen? Well, imagine the ocean trying to cool itself down with natural processes like wind mixing and evaporation. Now imagine those processes suddenly stop showing up to work, like they took a long vacation and forgot to let anyone else know. With weakened winds, reduced cloud cover, and shifts in natural currents, the ocean couldn't breathe. It trapped heat like a pot with the lid permanently slammed shut. And scientists didn't expect the durations to be this extreme. They knew marine heat waves were increasing, but they didn't predict they'd turn into mega events lasting hundreds of days. Long-lasting heat cooks ecosystems beyond recovery. Coral bleaching becomes coral death. Fish migrations turn into total species displacement, and extreme heat at the surface triggers storms, disruption of food chains, coastal dead zones, and rising ocean acidity. These long-duration heat waves aren't just symptoms, they're warning signals, flashing in neon colors. But what's causing all this chaos under the waves? Buckle up, the real culprit lineup is next. All right, time for the big reveal. What's actually driving this global ocean meltdown? Spoiler alert, it's not a single villain. It's a full-on supervillain team-up. First culprit? Reduced cloud cover. Clouds act like umbrellas for the oceans, bouncing sunlight back into space. But when they disappear, It's basically the sun going, "Hey ocean, mind if I microwave you on high?" Less cloud cover means the water absorbs way more heat and fast. Second culprit, weaker winds. Normally, strong winds stir the ocean's surface and help it cool down, but when winds weaken, the surface becomes still, trapping heat like plastic wrap over hot food. No mixing, no cooling, just temperature stacking. Third culprit, ocean current disturbances. Nature's conveyor belts that move warm and cold water around the globe have been acting glitchy. Shifted currents mean warm water sits where it shouldn't, piles up, and supercharges heat waves. And of course, the final culprit, the one scientists have been warning about for decades, human-driven climate change. The burning of fossil fuels loads the atmosphere with heat-trapping gases. Where does that extra heat go? The ocean absorbs more than 90% of it. That's why these heat waves are off the charts. All these factors combine into a perfect storm that heats the ocean like a giant simmering pot, except there's no chef to turn the knob down. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the fallout? Well, the fallout, that's where things get really seriously intense. So, what exactly happens when the oceans stay overheated for this long? The fallout is massive, ecological, economic, and global. Let's start with the oceans themselves. Coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, start bleaching the moment temperatures rise. If heat persists, like in this new report, they die. Without coral, entire ecosystems collapse. Fish lose their homes, larger predators lose food, and coastal communities lose both food and income. Next, fisheries take the hit. Fish migrate away from overheated waters, often leaving entire regions empty. That impacts millions of families who rely on fishing for survival. Governments lose revenue, food prices spike, black markets for seafood grow. It's not just environmental, it's economic shockwaves. But wait, it gets worse. Storm systems become more violent because warm oceans supercharge hurricane fuel. Coastlines erode faster, sea levels rise, dead zones expand. Areas where nothing can survive due to lack of oxygen, a direct result of prolonged heat. And for countries depending on tourism, coral reef tourism tanks, beach economies decline, entire industries crumble. This isn't just about fish and coral. This is about global stability, food security, coastal livelihoods, climate migration. You name it, it's on the table. And just when you think it can't get worse, Fact 5 takes us to the scariest question of all. Here's the big, unavoidable, gut punch question. Are we approaching a climate tipping point? Scientists say yes, or at least dangerously close. A tipping point is when damage becomes irreversible on human timescales, and these megamarine heat waves might be a sign the planet is creeping toward that edge. When oceans warm this fast, multiple systems start failing like dominoes. Coral reefs collapse, fish populations collapse, food supply chains collapse. Warmer oceans boost hurricane strength, coastal destruction increases, migration increases. Heat ruins oxygen levels, dead zones spread, biodiversity plummets. Each system that fails makes the next system weaker. Once enough fall, the entire global climate structure shifts into a new, dangerous state, one where recovery is nearly impossible. This isn't sci-fi, it's science, it's math, and it's happening now. But here's the important part. A tipping point isn't guaranteed unless we keep ignoring the warning signs. All right, we've seen the damage, the causes, and the stakes. Now here's my final verdict. So here's where we stand. The oceans aren't whispering, they're yelling. And if we don't take this seriously, the next generation won't inherit a crisis, they'll inherit a catastrophe. But we're not powerless. Awareness is the first weapon, action is the second. If you want more bold, sharp, fact-driven reporting like this, hit that like, smash that subscribe, and drop a comment telling us what shocked you most about these findings. Your voice helps shape these conversations, and trust me, the world needs informed voices right now. And hey, show some love to our sister channels. Starly Kids, Rayma Fatima. They're building smart, creative spaces for kids everywhere. Support them by liking, subscribing, and commenting. Let's grow together, let's educate together, and let's make this community stronger than ever.